RDA has a role to help promote the Australian government's grants that are relating to economic development. And so with that, what we do is ensure we get information out to people who subscribe with us so that they get the information as soon as a grant is announced. It's either through our website or through Facebook page. Secondly, we also play a role in sharing information out on some key grants, such as the Building Better Regions Fund, which is all about regional economic development. So with that grant, we play a role in not only sharing information, but conducting webinars, giving people advice about how to make strong applications, and we'll even go as far as talking one-on-one with project proponents about advice that's tailored to them and even provide letters of support. So we have quite a significant role there with the Australian government grants. We always advise people to get ready for their grant applications well ahead of an announcement on a grant opening or closing. We know that when a grant is opened, it's usually a fairly short lead time, and that cannot be enough to really put in a good application on many occasions. So with working with project proponents, we suggest they have basically a hit list of information already done up in a grant or a project page or two so that they're ready to go to get started when that new application opportunity arises. Now that information is really based on a few key questions. First and foremost, what is the project about? Why is the project necessary? So if people can already think about the rationale for why their project is necessary and get some stats and facts to back that up, it's a really good way to start putting that project outline together. So that would include, for example, if there's an issue or a challenge that someone is facing in a community, what are the stats or statistics that would line up around that to say, for example, can you look at the Queensland Government Statistician's Office or the Australian Bureau of Statistics or any recent surveys that give data to support the case that you say there's a problem or an issue to be addressed. On the flip side, you might have a new opportunity to address. So for example, you might see something working very successfully in the tourism industry somewhere else in Australia or overseas for that matter, and you'd like to do something similar to that in our region. You could look at then the opportunity. You can talk about what the industry is now, what this could develop, an extra additional benefit it might bring to the region. So getting that first and foremost is probably the most important step of getting going. The second step is really ensuring that you know who's got to be involved in developing the application, who's got to be involved in developing the project and implementing it, and who else can be supporters. So it's really good to think in advance about who would be the project team in pulling a grant application together. So we suggest you look at who are the people who have technical skills, finance skills, writing skills, research skills that can help pull that together and share that workload, and if possible do something like a Gantt chart to show what's going to be involved to put an application together, say in a 4-week period. Secondly, in terms of the application itself, you need to be able to demonstrate who will actually implement the project. So you need to give the judges really good confidence that you have the right team together to implement the project. So you might talk about who you would engage in terms of project management, if it's a construction project that demonstrate that you've recognised what needs to be done, you've got quotes, you know who's going to do the work. And we often recommend you also consider putting a steering committee together, have oversight of the project as well. You know, one of the tips we often give is if you don't have all the expertise in-house to deliver the project right now and prove that you've got the credentials, make sure you bring that into your steering committee. So someone who's got those skills, if you put them on the steering committee, you can refer to those skills that you have. The third part of that is also making sure you know who are the supporters that will have influence. So for example, with a government grant, we always recommend that you go to your local federal member of parliament or senator to see if you can get a letter of support. So they know about the project and can help advocate for it and demonstrate their support in that process for you. Of course, there may be many other supporters, and it's a case of working out, is it your local government, is it a relevant community or business group that would be supportive for the project. The more support you can show, the more it shows that it's a project that has less risk and more support, and hence will be popular with the government. Often it's really easy in a project to demonstrate what the outputs will be. What are you going to deliver? Is it going to be a plan? Is it going to be a new building? And that's important to demonstrate in your proposal and your grant application. But getting to the benefits is actually the crux of usually addressing criteria in a grant application. So for example, the benefits are how will that actually turn around some results in your community? Now the benefits could be, for example, the project will employ 10 people people in its construction stage. That's a benefit by being able to create new jobs. So it's not just the building, it's the new employment that occurs. It might be about enhancing community livability. It might be about a new project to enhance the infrastructure in a community. So that benefits then could be about the lifestyle, the benefits would be about the community having a new sporting facility to encourage greater active lifestyles, also to help retain and attract people to that community. So the benefits are a bit of harder work about thinking about the so what out of the project. What does it, my question I come back to is, what will it all mean at the end of the day? And they're the things that the government is looking for. And importantly, not just what are the short-term benefits, but also the ongoing benefits. Most projects, especially if they're into the millions of dollars, government of course will want to see that those projects have a long life to them and a long tail of benefits as well. One other important question with grants is understanding the costs and the budgets. And believe it or not, this is an area where people often get tripped up. It's important to get quotes so you know exactly what the costs are going to be of the project. We have seen examples where people have not actually put the right costs into the application. They've made a typo and that has cost them $200,000. So it is really important with grants to make sure that you have the specifics and then you fill out the application very carefully, but also get a second or third person to just proofread it for you, because it actually could end up being a cost to your organisation. The other important part about costs is also understanding what you're providing in kind. So in-kind costs can often count towards your contribution and leveraging that the government likes to see. So if they put in so much money, they like to see other money contributed to that project, so they're not funding it 100%. So valuing the time of your volunteers on a project, valuing the input you might have through the use of equipment you can get free of charge from someone else or your own organisation. Those things can be tallied up into the budget in most grants so that you can demonstrate your in-kind support as well as the cash that you will contribute. And that really adds value to the project and certainly strengthens an application if you can demonstrate that leveraging that additional benefit that is going into the project. RDA, as mentioned earlier, we promote all of our grants through our Facebook page, through our website, through our Community Connections newsletters, and we'll be sharing information out as it comes in coming months and over the next year. Also, keep an eye out for our updates on any webinars, any other activities we'll do to help you with those grants. Thank you.